everybody. Welcome back to Care Life Podcast with me, Felicity Kenzie. If you're new here or you've been here and haven't done this already, hit that follow button depending on what platform you're listening us from. And those listening or tuning in through Spotify and Apple Podcast, please leave a rating, leave a review. If you don't know this already, podcasts do not have an algorithm, so the only way to reach audiences is through your ratings and reviews. But today we are back for part three with Michaell. Yes, Michaell is back. We are doing a part three of our topic of discussion. If you haven't seen part one and part two, go check that out. But today we'll be talking about enoughness in this system relevant world that we live in. So, Michaell, welcome back for the third time on Care Life Podcast.
I love it. I love it because we dive really in, and with the three episodes, people should get really clear. It should be, according to Harvard University, the decision making is the hardest. And when you listen to those three, I think your decision making is going to be easier because you don't make the decision. No, I'm a woman. I'm Asian. I'm this. I'm that. No, you make your decision. I'm one of one human,
Mm-hmm.
and you say what is the issue here? Is it human centric about me getting a baby, me having a boyfriend, or is it system relevant where my job requires this from me? I need to be more. I need to be like all the woman, the Asian woman. I need to be all the man, the whatever, the white man. I need to be like that. No, you're not gonna you're not gonna mix you up and generalize you. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta be what we talked about in the first two episodes. You going to be that what nature made you, a one of one, and
Mm-hmm.
with a unique, and not only 8 billion people one of ones, they also have a unique life perspective. And
Mm-hmm.
because so even, and I just refer to you, to your family. I mean, you should be all the same, right, from your family, and everybody has a different perspective on life. Some guys, some of your family might like dogs, the other one cats. I mean, it's just everybody's different. and
Uh-huh.
and so when nature makes you that, you are one of one of 8 billion. Why does it make 8 billion one of one? Why not making, you know, uh, 8 billion people and 4 billion are a woman and 4 billion are men, and let's just have it. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's not. And having in those men and women have a couple of races in it. So who cares? That's it. That's how systems started, and they couldn't, because we weren't aware. Humans weren't aware. We
Mm-hmm.
started as that to make everybody generalize. Oh, it's one of those. Oh, it's one of the Jews or one of the Palestinians. Oh, it's one. We don't even say anything. And what one person as the leader of Jews or Palestinians makes a mistake and starts a war or whatever, and all of a sudden, all we talked about the last time,
Yes,
every
yes.
all the Jews, all the Palestinians, all the Russians or Ukrainians are bad. All around the world. We are not a normal. We're not defined by country. We are all over the world. You know, I was born in Austria, and I'm now in America. You know, so so because nature made us one of one, we literally, when you think about it, you cannot believe, when you're human centrically, when you're a human from our natural thing, what we are,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot conjure up or misunderstand that you are not enough, because otherwise nature would have made us all the same. So
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't be more talented. Let's say you're an artist. You are more talented to create beautiful faces, and I'm more talented to sing a song. It's never the same. Not everybody can ever do everything. And so we are unique with our abilities, with our perception, and and the most power, which we said last time, is to dance with each other, to to open our perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important that you always focus on your one of oneness. It's
Mm-hmm.
very important to focus on your one of oneness. Because if you don't, what that happens is when you are 101 and I'm 101, I instantly, you attract, because you're so clear to be 101. You're not pretending to be a CEO of a company or, a fashion model or whatever. You're
Mm-hmm.
just you. You're Phyllis. You can be a top fashion model. Doesn't matter. You are Phyllis.
Yeah.
That's it. And you're not like any Phyllis. You are you. You are that Phyllis that is 101. And so you cannot, even if you imagine or look for logical explanation why you shouldn't be good enough, or why you self-doubt and all that stuff. It cannot be, because naturally nature or God made you one of one. So it
Mm-hmm.
cannot be, right? It cannot be, because for not being good enough, you need to compare, and you can't compare. Since humans are all one of one, you can't compare them.
Yeah.
You can only compare it in our metaverse, which is the system where you are a specialist in computer, thing, and obviously there you can be an authority and also an expert. But that's
Mm-hmm.
in our metaverse. There's no authority and expert in nature. Yeah, there's one leader, but that's a team function. That's not I'm better, I'm Elon Musk, and then long nothing, and then there's the normal people coming. That's not natural. But in systems you can, obviously, because we see Jeff Bezos, we see Elon Musk, we see all these ruler and leaders, that there's so much difference between them and the normal people, quote unquote normal people.
Yeah, that is a great catch up of what we deeply dived into in the
It-
part one and part two.
yeah.
So if you're listening to this right now, ladies and gentlemen, part one and part two is already up. You better go check those out because the discussions we did there with me and Michael were just splendid, and you will get to understand more about system versus soul living, right?
Yeah. So there's no logic in that a human being, you know, a puppet or whatever, they can whatever feel whatever, but a human being cannot really feel not enough. It can say, the system doesn't have a job for me, or the system doesn't appreciate my abilities, that I'm a singing talent or a painter or whatever, or anybody, but like the right janitor. It doesn't matter. You could be the best janitor in the world, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I'm not saying you should be the best janitor in the world, but I say be the best janitor that you can be, because then you find what you really are if you are the best janitor in the world. So always try to be 100% you, and the more you are you, the more you search that and unveil it. Life is an unveiling too, because
Mm-hmm.
if you are an infant, a little infant, that's why we have time. That you grow into, first you a spirit, you grow into your physical body, you're born, and then you get, in the first 7 years you learn what it is to be human. And
Mm-hmm.
then you go in school, and in school you learn to be a social interaction of human. You get stronger, and then you go, when you're ready after university or whatever, you go to be in the world. And it doesn't mean you have to just be in your area. We travel all around the world and interact, and it's not about what to get, the goal that we want,
Mm-hmm.
but to find us. So for example, for me, I was born in Austria. I moved to America because I didn't think I find, and I was completely right, what
Mm-hmm.
I wanted in Austria. So I always had the intuition, or the feeling I need to go to America.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't say, oh, it's going to be better America or anything. I didn't think about, oh, Austria is not good enough, I need to go to it. No, I went to America because I felt the most pleasant in America. I felt the most right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a spirit about America, not about the politicians, but the people. It's like one on one. And that's why I love America, because the whole world, Palestinians and Jews are drinking coffee here. They're not segregated. They're yeah, it says, yeah, we had a lot of segregation with racism, but the whole world had that.
Yeah.
Uh, so But now it's people from all over the world come here, and if you're contributing to the humanity, you're totally fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As a
So,
human, not in
uh,
the system. And 65% of Americans live paycheck per paycheck. So I want to say that too. In the system, they don't. But in human centricity, my friends and stuff, they're from all over the world.
mhm. So, Michael, how does the concept of enoughness challenge the conventional notions of success and fulfillment in our society, which we have already seen that society itself is driven by constant growth and consumption because of system relevance?
So to understand it for everybody, so the system works on competition. Human centricity works on collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
We are so your uniqueness, you contribute to me. I contribute my uniqueness to you. I mean, we are a very good example. You know, I'm 65, you're 23. You know, it's we are an example of, and it doesn't matter age. It has nothing to do with age. You contribute, I contribute, and this is a beautiful dance, and it becomes a beautiful episode that we're proud of. We don't have to have 100,000 people. It would like it, but we don't have to have 100,000 people listen it. Our job is done by creating it, and then we put it in the world. And if the world is ready, they will take it. If the world is not ready, they might listen to this episode in 10 years. You know, it's just, we created it and put it in time. We made a symbol in time, you and I. So human centricity is collaboration, what we show. And then system relevance is you have to have a certain degree. You're generalized,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't take any people in our company that don't have this and this degree, that don't come from that and that school, that haven't have parents that are in elitist parents or certain things. It goes the other way around too. Your poverty, you have to be poverty to get into that system. About the enoughness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because it's competition. It's good or bad, right or wrong, better and better. It's constantly about that in the systems, because in the systems it cannot work like humans to collaborate with each other and dance with each other. The system cannot dance. The system, when a system grows and is finished by growing, it takes over others or fights or eats other systems, and whoever wins wins. It's
Mm-hmm.
about win or lose. In human centricity, it's always winning. Everybody wins. You and I dance. Somebody comes in, dances with us, leaves. It's never lose. Everybody wins. You and I mean, if people listen to this, they win. You and I win already, because we already dance already. We have already learned how to dance with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And people, when they listen to us, they have their six senses and they can relate. They can relate to us, so they win too. So everybody wins. And
Mm-hmm.
in system relevance, it's hey, I'm a competition of you. I want to get the cheapest thing of you. I want to be better than you. I want to get the award. It's always, I mean, even the awards. Look at all the awards. The
Mm-hmm.
awards are all, I'm better than you. I have 2 Oscars. No, I have 3 Oscars. Wow. You know? And what does it do? It really doesn't do anything other than, why do you give a soldier a medal? Because nobody else would do the job of killing somebody. You know, I mean, this is amazing. They give him a medal. He can eat that medal. He can buy anything of that medal. He has an honor to get the Purple Heart or something. But other than that, the system totally eats him. It
Mm-hmm.
uses him. Sends him to kill other people, and then uses him. And when he comes home, nobody gives it. They give him a Purple Heart and said, "That's it. See you."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Because go
so
ahead.
do you think that's why we have people out here questioning their own quote unquote enoughness? Because this system that we live in, you find that we've already established that it's always hard for somebody to live a human-centric life fully because
Mhm,
the system will always try to challenge you. So
mhm.
do you think that's why people find it tough on themselves to accept their own enoughness?
Yes, It's basically we a symptom. The fact that our collective depression and not enoughness and being not good enough, wanting to look different, we want to get out of our body. Oh, I want blonde hair in my instead of my white hair. I want blonde hair, and I want to be 6'5", 2 meters tall. I mean, what the hell? I want to be fat. I want to be skinny. I want to be like this person. I want to be. Why not being you? Your best friend is your body. Your body
Mhm.
always tells you what to do. You know, and when you have a pain, it says, "Look at that. Look at that. Look at me. Look there. You have a pain there." And you think, I mean, the same thing. It's not. The body says, "Oh, you're feeling bad." So to that you think, why do I feel bad when I see that person, I feel bad? Why? You
Mhm.
know, and then you shouldn't be hanging out with that friend if you're always and you can't figure it out because your body tells you not to do that. And it's not an intuition or anything. The body just reflects. The body is your best friend
Mhm.
because you have nature and God gave you that body. And that's why the safest place to be is not somewhere in a castle, but in your body, wherever you be. It doesn't matter if you're in a hurricane or whatever. The safest place is in your body.
Mhm. So, in what ways can embracing the concept of enoughness lead to a more sustainable and harmonious relationship with the environment and other living beings around us?
It's like the awareness. The awareness is the key, and that's what we do. I mean, the last 3 episodes are all about awareness. It's not
Mhm.
specifically for a certain person or a certain group or a certain whatever. It's for all humans. It's the awareness that there is system relevance, which always does dissonance because it's outdated. Most systems are outdated. They should be updated, but they're outdated. And just the pure fact that you know human centrically and nature, because then you need to fight the nature and God. If you say, if I feel today after the awareness that I have and that we talked about, if I
Mhm.
feel today uh, depressed, that's normal. That's just you don't feel good. You don't feel good every day because the body is adjusting, aligning because you're always growing. So also you have to sometimes digest. You go out, you meet great people, and you need it's your a day to digest something. I had a friend over that visited me from Austria, and we talked about all our friends.
Mhm.
And when I was walking today, all of a sudden this came to me. I recalled what he said, you know. But
Mhm.
it's funny where it came. It came by walking. When I was naturally human centrally walking in nature, all of a sudden my brain allowed me to digest more. The brain protects you when you go in a library,
Mhm.
and not in a library, in a gallery. uh, I ask everybody, I said, if you think that you don't think your brain is editing what you perceive, your own perception, that this is the test. Go in a museum and
Mhm.
go through it, just look at everything, and then go again, start again, right afterwards. You see things the second time that you haven't seen the first time. Everyone, there's never anybody that says, oh, I saw everything.
Mhm.
So that shows you also that you cannot see what you want, or just observe. Your mind is already segregating the stuff. So when you are aware that nature slash God made you one of one with a one of one body, with a one of one perspective, you
Mhm.
can never feel you pull yourself out. So if I feel, God, I wish I was as good as Phil is. Oh my God, I wish I was as good as her. When I hear myself say that, I would say, no, Phyllis is great. She's 101, and she probably found out who she is before me. You know what I mean? That's
Mhm.
how so my own talk goes when I, uh, embrace somebody or honor or feel, oh my God, I wish I was Elon Musk. Yeah. Then
Mhm.
I would say, Elon Musk does what Elon Musk does. Michael does what Michael does. I live my own life because I'm one of one, and he lives his own life. So comparison of other people doesn't help. A comparison where I say I like, or I'm more drawn to Phyllis than to Frank or whatever. Yes, that you can, because it's such a feeling. But to compare yourself, I want to be Phyllis, that
Mhm.
doesn't work. Or I want to have her body. That doesn't work either.
Mhm. And for those listening, if you're not aware, there's no way that me and Michael can talk about enoughness without mentioning themes of sufficiency and interconnectedness, especially with our main topic of discussion, which is system living versus human-centric living. So,
Yeah.
Michael, how does the idea that our actions count for not only ourselves, but also those around us, and the sense of responsibility and interconnectedness with
Yeah.
everybody around us?
So everybody, when you go in a group, I mean, everybody has experienced this. I always go with a simple example. So when you go in a group and everybody's happy, even
Mm-hmm.
if you're depressed, you can't help it. Sooner or later, you shift out and you feel better. You don't have to. I'm not saying you're getting out of depression or whatever, but you get better. When
Mm-hmm.
you, when you, we are all interconnected. That means they have done this research with hooligans in the British stadiums. There was
Mm-hmm.
a accountant watching the soccer game, and the hooligans started a riot. Like started rambling and started, uh, you know, uh, trouble. And on the camera, as they arrested the accountant, and they said, and he says, "Why are you arresting me? I don't do anything." And they showed him the video, and he was actually grabbing a bottle and hitting somebody over the head with it. And that wasn't one. There was a lot of those people. They said they have no records, criminal record. They're totally straightforward. It's when other people feel that, and the world feels it's never enough, no matter what we do. We talked in our first episode about that. The world feels it's never enough, no matter. So if you and I make $1,000 today, we said tomorrow maybe need $15,000. So it always has to be more. You do a fashion line, create a fashion line or something, and not, then there way. If one of your fashion lines would work super and everybody would like it, then the people accept that next time that you get even better, and that's the catch.
Mm-hmm.
So no, you had one, and that was accepted just by luck or whatever with everybody. That doesn't mean tomorrow. Nature has great harvesters. You harvest the wheat in nature, 3 years perfect. Fourth and fifth year is not.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a natural aligning, because we need to align to balance. And when you don't, not in balance, which is system relevance, the system relevance pushes it has to be relevant for the system. It has to be. The point is not your uniqueness in systems. The point in system is, can you adapt to the system?
Mm-hmm.
And that's very hard, because systems are very primitive compared to humans in nature, and we have to deny our one of oneness and have to adapt and learn, you know, learn English, learn the whatever needs to be done, learn how the company wants us to treat people, even though we would never treat people like that.
Mm-hmm.
And and so when we experience that, and the reason, the cause of that is because nature is abundant. Okay, so it doesn't mean you eat every day, but it is
Mm-hmm.
abundant. Basically, you don't see a bunch of poor monkeys sitting somewhere and they have nothing to eat, or elephants, dying from hunger. That's not usually the case. So when in the system, since we have spirits where you influence me, I influence you, we can build each other up or build each other down, right? So
Mm-hmm.
because we are connected. In system, the system cannot do that, and the systems with each other cannot do it. There's no energy. What the system lives by, the life energy of system, is money.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's like a blood infusion. It's like a human that needs blood infusion all the time, because it loses the blood. It's just, it's impossible in nature. But in the system, it's never enough. But that's where that never enough comes from, because it runs out of the juice. And the people that are dependent on the systems that get paid, that they can take care of their kids and whatever, they don't want to change. They are
Mhm.
so about, I want this. That's why all you see, all the the governments in the world are outdated, and they're not like the most beautiful buildings, and they're like, they're just run, they're just running them. And when and you don't have the money, and then globally everybody is, it's never enough, then systems don't update, and systems are still in the thing of, oh, there's two genders, there's a couple of races, and there's sexuality. They're still on that level. But instead of, that's the big shift that we're experiencing now, it shifts to one of oneness.
Mhm. So can practicing enoughness help shift societal values between or towards empathy and
Yeah,
compassion?
yeah,
And
because it's natural. It's natural. It's not systemic.
uh
When you feel balanced, you don't feel nice to other people. If you feel balanced and you feel good, you're not grateful. Of course, you're grateful.
hmm
When a lot of people never feel grateful, never balanced, and that's why they never feel grateful, because they're so system disturbed that they're not feeling grateful.
hmm
So what we I'm totally for systems. They need to be updated. But we collectively created that systems outdate because we weren't aware, oh, the financial system is also outdated,
hmm
because it only asks for more. It does, it's never enough. But if you have a system that you create, you got to do a balance. You have to do something. There must be something you can contribute to money that is enough, and it's not there. Money is never enough, always. All the financial principles are, it's never enough. If you have billions or you're a beggar on the street, it doesn't matter. It's never
hmm
enough. So that system is flawed. When you look at there must be something to sustain it. There must be like enoughness. Why is enoughness not valuable? So there's something wrong. Then because once you create a financial principle that is, that can balance the not enoughness with enoughness, then you would be in balance in systems, in money, in systems, and everything would be can be sustainable again, and humans can be actually dance with each other instead of feeling fight flight, where we lose our thinking, we lose our intelligence. Because when you put the cutest animal in a corner, it bites you, because the DNA takes over. It's not that you are not smart or nice, or gratitude and empathy or anything you have.
hmm
When I put you in a corner, you start biting, because it's not you that's bad, but your DNA is that you need to survive, because you're so precious, because you're one of one, and your DNA just shifts you out, and you can't think anymore. And that's what's collectively happened to our humanity right now.
Based on what we've discussed so far, including from part one and part two, and today with enoughness, it means that with an updated system that has a balance between system relevance and human-centric living, and then you couple that with the concept of enoughness, basically it means that collectively we can have a general well-being rather than just individual achievements, right?
Yeah, like in nature, we can be actually, see, we are given by nature the present that we can actually create our own habitats, right? Our cities, our systems, because we are, creativity is our first superpower. We are collective creator animal. That's why we're also one of one. We are
Mhm.
to create New York, Singapore, Johannesburg, whatever. You create that, and Google and Apple and Nike. We create this. We love to create. It's not, oh, Steve Jobs did that. No, Steve Jobs didn't do that, because without the people around him, he would have never be able to create Apple. He's just, the spotlight is on him because he's the CEO of that company. But if there weren't other people that help him create Apple, he would still sit in his garage and solder, solder on a computer or something. And the same with Bill Gates. So, and the same is with Elon Musk. If Elon Musk didn't have a team, he would still be somewhere in a garage trying to build something. So, and Zuckerberg and all these top people, without a team, they couldn't do it. And having the right synergistic fit, one person is good for marketing, the other one is good for promotion, the other one is good for human connections, the other is good, sees the system, the computer with humans. Yeah, that's why they created something in. So it's not the person did it, but this is also shows you that humans don't think anything about themselves. Yeah, they don't. We don't want to be in our body. We don't accept our body. We don't like to communicate with our body. We want to be somewhere else. We're going in all kinds of special things, spirituality, expertise in this, religions. It's not necessary. You can just be one of one. And all you have to do, costs you zero thing. It's always remind whenever you don't feel good or feel good, you're one of one. And why are you feeling fulfilled? So let's say you're going out in the nature and you feel there's a meadow that you always feel good when you come to that meadow. Don't just come and say, oh, I'm happy. Say, why is that meadow making me happy? And when I go to the trees, I'm not happy. I'm not so happy. I'm happy, but I'm not so happy. So the one of one is, why is your one of one is reacting to the meadow? Because when I go to the meadow, I hate it. I like the trees. You know what I mean? Everybody likes something different. And the more you know yourself, the more you can be a leader, the more which lets all the plates spin, not a leader that is on top and tells the people what to do. And the more you can be a team player, and the more you can experience our dance. You can experience your life perspective is opening up, and we can share. And it's not I'm right, you are wrong, which would be system relevant conversation. No, I'm right, you are right, and let's see how these two right things fit together. I'm working with a university where we do in Canada. We talk about we study communication, and we find out that when you have a human-centric conversation, we had 4 people discussing something, and we ask every person to explain empathy. And you cannot believe how magical this was. Every person said something, because our context wasn't to make it right or wrong. We just wanted to see what everybody says. Everyone was right, but we all opened our perspectives. And we literally could see how we influence the human potential. It was magic. Yeah. So to make a system a reverse engineered, saying, okay, how do you want to reverse engineer sexism? For example, that women are not the same, what people do, but naturally we did that. Women are less worth and blah, blah, blah over the time of the long system time, because in war, they were looking for men, and the woman just, made more warriors and cooked for the men. And that kept on going. Also, the power of a woman to not wear out sexually versus a guy, finishes and that's it. So that's very intimidating for men, because men are not without feelings. Men are actually more sensitive than women. But that's again, that's the stupid saying, oh, men need to be tough. They need to be tough. See, their system conditioned to be tough. But women are much better emotionally to handle life than men. And that's scientifically proven. That's not me and my judgment. It's scientifically proven. But it's okay. I'm not intimidated. I'm a man. I'm not intimidated. Women are emotionally better opt than men. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you just dance with them and learn from them when they can do. And what I can do better, I teach you. It's that's we collaborate. That's collaborate. That's dancing. That's opening my perception. That's opening your perception. When you
Mm-hmm.
go through the day, you just say, hey, that's system relevant. I have to do that job. I understand that. But it's not me. I'm one of one,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to do the job because the system, there's certain things there are, and we have to return it, but we will never return it if we are the victims. If we say, oh, I should get $1 million for my job. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. When the general thing is we're gonna pay you 100,000 and you want 1 million, that doesn't happen from today to tomorrow. That takes time to shift because it got to that only certain people got 1 million for long generations. It took that. Because in
Mm-hmm.
the old times people were sharing. They were helping each other. If I was a good person that made wheels, and you were a good person that make a sweater, I got the sweater, and you got a wheel from me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and
So, Michael, as
yeah,
we come towards the end of this episode and
yes,
thus the end of this wonderful series we've had, what can be the last final words you'd like to tell the audience that's listening right now, even months or years into the future? What should they get from this mini series, this 3 episode series we've had about the life lens system versus
yeah,
soul?
because you were given one of one,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta lean into that. And then even if you think you were a total loser, you were drunk all the time, you were on drugs, you were depressed. Yes, you were, but
Mm-hmm.
you are 101. You are 101. And you cannot be the judge of yourself. You cannot say, you know, I don't like myself. That's okay to not like yourself. You're
Mm-hmm.
still 101. You're
Mm-hmm.
still 101. And you have to find the 101 to start liking it. Because nature doesn't make a mistake. God doesn't make a mistake. So what you were saying, okay, I think I'm not worthy. You think that's correct? You want to say that to God? Oh God, you didn't make me right. I don't look like Brigitte Bardot. Don't look like a supermodel. You know, that's an argument with God. That's an argument with nature, which you are part of. You can't deny God, but you can't deny nature because you're part of it. You're not
Mm-hmm.
born by Apple. Apple computers didn't give you birth.
Mm-hmm.
You're you're a living being, and if you just keep that you're 101, just keep that. And there is two systems. There is system relevance, which is artificial and very limited, and the human centricity. And then you feel enough. And it's not even a question. It's like if you say, I am a woman,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be a woman, but you are a woman. So you have to accept that you're a woman, and you have to accept that you're enough. There is nothing to do. I cannot be a woman. I'm a man. You know what I mean? So you have to. I can change it in the system. That's so confusing. I can, get boobs and all this stuff. That's why it's so confusing. But you are by birth, you're a woman, and nature gave you to be a woman. So you have to look at that and not don't. You can say, okay, this is interesting because if you want to be transsexual or you want to change your gender, you can
Mm-hmm.
do that. You can absolutely do, but it's only for the system. It's not for nature. Nature is never going to see you as a transsexual. Nature is
Mm-hmm.
never going to see you as change. And that's nature is also not mad that you make yourself a boy or a man or a transsexual, both. It doesn't care. That's in the system. That's a system relevant decision. If people think, oh, I have more power when I'm a man, so I make myself a man, good, do it. If that helps you in the system relevance, if you like it, that nobody says anything. The nature doesn't. The system says something against or for it, but
Mm-hmm.
nature will never say, oh, you should, as a woman, you should look like that. No, because nature knows you're 101. And I think once if you just listen a couple of times to these episodes, then
You'll
this
understand.
is not made for, yeah, this is not made for one person. This is not made for one group. This is made for my whole knowledge that I do in my podcast. It's 30 seconds. It's just a question and it's an observation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for every human, because creativity is our first superpower.
Mm-hmm. But thank you so much, Michael, for joining us here for these 3 episodes on Care Life Podcast.
Anytime.
Yeah, and for all those listening, once again, I'll say this once again. If you haven't listened to part 1 or part 2, go on ahead and listen to them so that you get a deeper understanding of what we were both discussing. And if you have any questions, just
Yeah.
like the other 2 episodes, I will leave a small banner on Spotify where you can ask Michael or I questions. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what month or year you're listening this episode on, but when we see the question, I will try to get Michael to answer them, or you can also ask through social media. Just
And
tag
also,
us
you
or
can ask you understand it. I
yeah,
mean,
or you can ask
yeah,
me if
yeah,
Michael is not available, and I'll answer the questions as best as I can. But for this mini series that we've had, ladies and gentlemen, we have learned about what system relevance is, what human-centric living is, why we need that delicate balance, and why the concept of enoughness and also one or individuality is important as well, because with this world, everything is complicated enough as it is, so that should not be another complicated thing that
yeah. It's
runs
very
our
simple. Human
yeah.
centricity is very simple. And the one thing I didn't say, when you're here on this planet, now don't go into, I'm in quantum theory. I mean, you can study it if you want. I'm spiritual. I'm this and that. No, be fully in humanity. When you're passing away from this planet, you're gonna can explore spirituality as much as you want. But we are here right now. So lean into your 101 is lean into human and experience, because life is so fast. 100 years go so fast. Uh, get in your and to experience humanity, you need to be 101, that you fully experience what's possible.
Mm-hmm. And that has been Life Lens System versus Soul with me and Michael. The themes were sufficiency, interconnectedness, holistic well being, and embracing individuality in our daily lives. So, like, comment, share, all that jazz that we normally do on social media platforms. And maybe, who knows, in the future, Michael will be back here and we'll have either this discussion yet again or something totally new. We don't know. We
Yes.
don't know the future. I can't tell about the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens. It happens.
Yeah, but once again, thank you so much, Michael, for joining us here today. And for those out there listening, we'll see you next time here in Care Life Podcast, where we'll have even more magical discussions and even more guests to talk about their lives and their art and their work. And you know what we do here in the podcast. But until then, stay safe, stay curious, and have a lovely May. Bye.